Well, I never thought I'd have to make this video. I took some time to kind of process what happened today. By the time this video gets posted, it will be yesterday. But as you guys have all by now heard, Charlie Kirk, founder of TP USA, Turning Point Action, podcast and radio host, reached millions of people every single day. Social media account reached 100 million people a month. He was a friend of the president's. He was a good friend of my pastor's. I had the privilege of meeting him once. More importantly, he was a born again believer who loved Jesus Christ. Reached millions of people. More specifically, he reached millions of youth, including myself. As a matter of fact, the reason I'm making this video is so directly because of him. I became interested in politics 6 or 7 years ago because of him. The books behind me on my shelf are because of him. Because I wanted to learn. I wanted to know. He inspired me and millions of other people in our love for our country, in our love of the Lord, our love of history, everything. He was a remarkable man. And as you all know, he was assassinated September 10th. I'm not going to go through all the details of the shooting. Everyone already knows that. I can't offer any information that you guys don't already know. But what I can tell you is the impact he had on my life and where I think we need to go from here. It was 2019. It was the fall of 2019. He came to Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills for the first time ever, sat down with my pastor, Pastor Jack Hibbs, and started breaking down the ideas that I always held to. I was always conservative. I was raised in a conservative household with Christian parents. I held true to those beliefs. I never wavered from them. But he gave me a love and a passion for them and articulating those values. When COVID hit in 2020, I had nothing to do, just like every other person, I suppose. I spent hours of every single day, and when I mean every single day, I mean every single day. I listened to every podcast that he released. I think at the time he was doing 2 a day. I watched every debate, previous and current. Everything Charlie Kirk I consumed. I loved it. He was a hero to me. At the time he was certainly a Christian, but I now looking back at how much he's grown and progressed in his faith, where as Pastor Jack said tonight in the memorial service that we held at Chino, he said he was a teenage Christian when he met him. And now it was like he's 99 years old in his faith. He loved the Lord. It inspired me. It truly did. I just loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. I was constantly watching him. I would go as far to say that Charlie has had more impact on my life than any person outside of my family and a few other small people, including my pastor. He's had more impact on my life than anybody. And when I heard the news, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was broken. I'm not an emotional guy. I'm not at all. But I was shaking. I was weeping and so angry. And I saw the video, and I wish I didn't, but I saw it. And I saw the hero of millions of people my age, of my generation, and one of my heroes get cut down in cold blood. Why? Because he loved God, he loved his family, and he loved our country. He's leaving behind 2 kids, I think a 3-year-old daughter, and a 1-year-old son, and a wife who, I mean, I only got to speak to her briefly once, but she was so pleasant and sweet and kind, and I just cannot imagine what she's experiencing right now. But we're now left with a choice. And in the next few days, I will still continue to be shocked. I will never be able to get that out of my head, what I saw. And we will all be grieving. Many tears will continue to be shed, and that's good. It's a good moment for that. But I think we need to look at this as a new moment, a literal turning point in our country. And yeah, everyone's talking about how we need to bring down the rhetoric. Everyone's talking about how we need to stop with this political violence. There's no place. Yeah, I agree with all of that. But more importantly, we need to do our part. Charlie Kirk was on these campuses hundreds of times, thousands of times. He was 31. He founded the largest conservative youth organization the country has ever seen. 3,500 college and high school campuses, including my own when I was in high school. He reached millions. I already went through all that. He wrote best-selling books in the New York Times and Amazon. He spoke at hundreds of churches. He helped elect the President of the United States. Trump would not be in office if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk. That's just a fact. He did all of that. And he was 31 years old with 2 kids and a wife. And what do? We vote, sure. We complain on Twitter or X. We donate a few dollars here or there. Charlie Kirk's the reason I wanted to get involved at all. And specifically political media, because I believe that God had given me the opportunity and the voice and the ability to articulate these values and convey that to other people. He's the reason I'm here. He's the reason I'm making this video. But I want to do more now. There's been times in the last few months as I'm trying to get started, as I'm trying to get my voice out there through writing, through videos, through hosting a news segment for Family Research Council, doing all that, where I was just kind of discouraged. I was like, why am I doing this? There's barely any people watching. Do I just go on and do some other career path? But today radicalized me. Because you know what? As I saw him bleeding out, I realized that there's almost nothing more I want to accomplish in this life than to have a smidget of the impact he had. To reach people with our values, to help save this country. And most importantly, to reach them with the Lord Jesus Christ, with that good news. That's what Charlie wanted. I'm going to put up a few posts of Charlie, some fairly recent ones. This is what he wanted. This is what he fought for. And now he's gone. They stole him from us. And I want to do my part. My goal is to have them hate me almost as much as they hated Charlie Kirk. Because then, you know what? I know I'm doing something right. I don't want to die. I'm not saying that. But they hated Charlie because he told the truth. And you know what? He treated them kindly. People got mad that he was sometimes too aggressive. You have no idea the amount of patience he exhibited toward them. Where he was constantly getting death threats, and finally it happened. I want to be hated as much as Charlie Kirk. I want to have even a tenth of an impact as much as Charlie Kirk. And I want to be half the man that Charlie Kirk was. I will miss him. I truly will. It grieves me. I've cried more today than I have in the last 5 years combined. It's hard. But we now have big shoes to fill. And we can't. But I think we got to do our darndest. We do do it most importantly for the Lord, but also we do it for Charlie. From now on, I will be fighting way harder. I will be working way more, and I hope all of you will do the same for Charlie.